Credit to Oregon State. They did such a good job of playing to their strengths in terms of getting their kids, the right kids, downhill. And we got beat on 2 drives. We had a 7-point lead with 3 minutes to go, and we just couldn't get enough stops. They did a great job of getting shots for the players that they wanted to get shots, and got themselves at the free throw line. They got 26 free throws, and they shot 58% from the 3. And that's the difference in the game is our mental. We made too many mistakes on the defensive end of the floor, and really early on. A kill for us is 3 stops in a row, and we got 2 kills in the first quarter, and then we only got 1 more the rest of the game. And I thought we did a great job offensively. I thought we did a great job of finding Lauren versus their zone for a long time until they made some adjustments. But I thought we kept our composure. But we couldn't get enough defensive stops.
Questions in the room?
So in the first half, you guys actually showed some really good defense throughout. It's like you played a really aggressive style just to make sure they had no room to move even coming through the front court. Is that a usual style you guys, or is that mostly for like the Oregon?
No, that's how we like to play.
And also just a great job over here to both of you. It's like some great shots from the field, especially during crunch time. Like just props to all of you.
Yeah, I'm sorry I came in just a moment late. Just for the players, right there on the verge of victory, is it harder to lose a game like that, or has any loss just stink just as much?
Obviously any loss sucks, and I think just the fact that we had 7-point lead, a few minutes left, and we're able to hold on to it, and then we were able to make some big plays down the stretch on the offensive end. But just the fact that we couldn't get a stop at the end was tough.
From Gavin Carlson, Daily Bruin. Coach, can you just take us through what you saw in the last 4 sequences? The Angela 3, the Oregon State drive, Lauren's jumper, and then the final 3-pointer.
Yeah, we just couldn't keep them in front of us on that. After the 3, Talia van Olhoffen got to her right hand and got downhill, and we tried to switch that and just couldn't keep her in front, and really put a bigger player on her, tried to make her shoot over the top, but credit to her that she made it. And then we came down and we advanced the ball, and we got us into a situation where they were really guarding to the rim and to our shooters, and credit to Lauren. She was just calm, and we didn't force it. We got it to her. She made a big time shot, and then obviously we just defended the first one really well, and then we decided to go with it the same way, and then they burnt us on a switch where 30 was open, and then we overcorrected, and that's how Talia got that open 3 with 1 second left. And so, it's our defensive error, and ultimately for me, I take that as the coach. I'm responsible for making sure that we execute in those ways. I mean, we work on this situation all the time. And so ultimately, it's my job as the head coach to make sure that we're able to get that stop. We have to get that stop with 1 second left, and we weren't able to do it, and that's my responsibility to make sure we're ready for that.
You've touched on it, but can you talk about losing that 7-point lead late, but also the resilience you saw in your team in battling in those last few possessions?
Losing the 7-point lead is part of it, but it's just a matter of we couldn't get stops. We just, bottom line is we were scoring we were getting great shots and we were scoring. And we had to find a way to get more stops now. And especially, it came down to 2 things: defending without fouling and defensive discipline against the 3. And letting their players that were drivers get downhill. So 3 that we know is a driver, she just got to her spots way too often. And Talia's harder because you got to chase her over the top of all those screens, and you got to keep her from getting downhill. But I thought we made good adjustments in the second half. At the beginning, they were just going to to me a 30 time after time, and she was just having her way with us in the post, and then she was getting outside to the 3-point line, and you know, I thought we made a good adjustment on her, but then they went to some of their drivers, and that's been a strength of ours all year, is being able to switch and keep people in front of us and force hard shots without fouling. And that really was the difference in the game, is 26 free throws. I'll have to go back and check, you know. I think you got to expect when you go on the road that you're not going to get those calls. And, you know, I did think we were being pretty aggressive too. I'm not sure, you know, it is what it is. But 26 free throws is a lot of free throws. And that's a tough one.
Reagan Beers goes down, you know, early in the second quarter. Can you talk about how the game plan changes after she goes out?
Well, we wanted to go inside either way. We just were going to attack their 4-player a little bit more, you know. But I thought we did a good job for the most part of getting Lauren touches. She needed to touch the ball as much as possible every time down, and she was very efficient. They started to just put 2 people on her. They just bracketed her, 1 in front, 1 in back, and they were daring us to shoot the ball versus their zone and try to rotate and just make us make decisions. And you know, it put us in tough spots in terms of getting her those touches. But some other people stepped up and made some big shots, and you know, so but it automatically, as soon as Beers went out, we're talking about we got to get to the paint, we got to get to the cup, and that's both off the pass in terms of post ups and also off the bounce. And we weren't able to do it as effective, but again, it wasn't on offense. It changed how we maybe switched some screens defensively. But we did not get out on their 3-point shooters. We had just way too many mistakes on that.
Last one from Gavin. It's obviously fresh, but for anyone, how does the team bounce back from this? What do you learn from this game?
I think, you know, obviously right now to focus on the next game. We have another game on Sunday against a good Oregon team, but we'll go back and look at the film, see the areas that we need to improve in, and really just learn from the game towards the end of the season. We need to be able to kind of fix up the things that we've been working on in our growth areas. So we just need to take what we can from this game and focus on, you know, taking it into the postseason.
Yeah, Coach, I'm just wondering, between the last time you guys played them in LA and tonight, I realize the ending's a little bit wild, right? But where do you think this team has changed since the last time you saw them?
Well, Oregon State's changed?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that they have totally, to be honest with you. I think Tamia's Gardner's playing a lot more and a lot better. That's a big change from that first time. I think they are just really have grown in their confidence. You know, it's amazing. The biggest thing I was worried about in this game is scoring, because what happens is if we don't score, we can't set our press, and we can't. There's some other things, but because they had been so stingy with so many teams for so long, they've just been growing, I think, so much in their confidence, and I think they handled our pressure better this time than they did the first time. I've really been impressed with their point guard improvement. And I think that, you know, I think Gardner's playing a lot better. You know, I just think they're executing really well. They're getting the shots, but they're controlling pace of play. You know, I watched their games versus Utah and Colorado, and they just controlled the pace of play so much. You know, they want less possessions, and they want to really be able to control who gets the shots and play more of a half-court game, and you know, and they're doing a great job of that. And so I think their confidence has just grown, and their efficiency has just grown. Their defensive numbers are ridiculous. They're really good.
Anything else? Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.